What's up, everybody, and welcome back to the Recruiter's Corner. I am Technical Sergeant Brandy Gray with the 336 Recruiting Squadron, and today we got a very, very special video for you guys. I got a very good friend of mine, Sergeant Madena, Jason Madena. I call him Jay, but we're both in the military, and we met back in Italy.
Yep.
Yeah.
About
and
4 years ago.
It was fitness that kind of really brought us together, and so on today's channel, we just kind of want to talk about the importance of fitness. But more so importantly, because fitness goes hand in hand with being in the military, but from a different perspective, because Jay is a boxer who owns his own boxing brand, but we want to talk about the importance of, one, really getting out there and understanding that fitness is not just, weights, push-ups, sit-ups, running, but getting out there and doing something that you enjoy, something that you have a passion for, something that you have a love for. So we kind of want to talk about that in terms of, being a future airman. How is it relevant in terms of being in the Air Force and being an airman but being a boxer at the same time? So that's kind of where Jay comes in, and we got a special workout for you guys where he kind of takes us through that as well. So you'll kind of see that here along as well as we kind of go through and talk. Welcome.
Thank you. Appreciate you having me.
Yes, absolutely. All right, so we want to jump right into it. Why is fitness important to you?
For me, fitness is more than just a physical activity. You know what I mean? You're getting more than just the physical. At least for me, it is. For me, you're getting stress relief. You're getting a good workout. You're being able to release a lot of negative energy along with getting yourself in better shape in the process. Okay.
So how would you say that, when we talk about fitness, right, and we talk about being an airman, we look at things and how fitness is intertwined with going to work every day, things of that nature. So being in the Air Force, currently at a minimum, we can expect, a 1.5 mile run, push-ups, sit-ups, things of that nature. But you extend that into boxing, right? So how does that transpire into being an airman?
Well, to piggyback off of what you said earlier, it's not just about working out, but finding something different that you actually enjoy. You know what I mean? So being in the Air Force now, coming on 15 years, we hear people all the time that don't like doing squadron PT or flight PT because it's mundane and it's cookie cutter and they don't feel like they get the appropriate workout that they like.
Right.
So when you start finding different avenues, whether it be boxing or anything else, for me it's boxing because that's what I've enjoyed in the majority of my life. Right. You're able to do something fun and still get the same benefits that the Air Force wants us to have, from physical fitness, making sure you have good stress relief, and being fit to fight.
Absolutely. So how do you incorporate boxing? How do you incorporate your boxing brand, right? Because you have your own.
Yeah, Icon Boxing.
Okay. Yes. So, let me back up for that. So, what is Icon Boxing to you?
Icon Boxing stands for One Knockout Nation. It's basically my theory, my philosophy, and passion wrapped up into my own boxing program, where not only do I teach you how to get physically fit, learn how to fight, defend yourself, but you're also have an outlet, a family that you can come to, have mentorship. You can come together and talk about whatever circumstances is going on in your life, right, and express it physically if you're not able to express it verbally, and have somebody that you can lean on and talk to.
Gotcha. So mentally, you brought up the perspective of mentally, right? Being mentally fit. I always say life is a battle, right? Mentally, physically, and spiritually. Always, hands down, you're always going to be tested in some area. Would you agree?
Absolutely.
Okay. Yes. And so with that, what would you say, being mentally fit, physically fit, spiritually fit looks like for you as a boxer and being an airman?
So again, back to what Icon means to me. I'm teaching you how to fight and box and defend yourself, but in the process, you're learning how to navigate life, because the same disciplines that you require in that ring whenever you're competing against somebody is the same disciplines that's going to be required for life.
Right.
If I'm in a fight with you and you hit me in my nose, it's a speed bump or it's a deterrent to where I was going for, but I can either sit and dwell on it and continue to lose from that experience, just like life throws monkey wrenches in our plans all the time.
Life throws punches.
Exactly. And you got to roll with those punches.
You do.
You got to work with it and then build character from it, because when you get into those experiences, you can either be halted by it or learn from it, so that the next time that something like that happens, you can avoid it or navigate it better to continue your progress.
So a lot of this too, for me being a recruiter, and just kind of putting stuff out for people who want to join, right? For people who want to join, who might not be physically fit, but is like, I definitely want to do this. Being in the military is something that I want to pursue, but I'm just not sure how to get, go that route physically. What advice would you offer to a future or potential airman, not only in terms of physical fitness, but spiritual and mentally as well?
I think starting off with a good support group, if you can get something like that, anytime you can get with other people that are going to support whatever your goals and aspirations are, that's always going to be a big bonus. That's not always readily available for all of us. So you got to kind of be your own backbone, your own support, your own cheer squad. You know what I mean? If you're looking into getting into the military and you don't have any physical abilities in terms of working out, because you're not something that you've been into forever, start light. There's so many different available options. You can go on any one of our phones at this point and Google basics. You can DM me on my Instagram. It's 1KON_boxing, and then I'm more than happy to help people with that as well. But just start off light. Start off with 5-10 push-ups, 5-10 sit-ups a day. We got to do a mile and a half, but if you're not much of an aerobic person, aim for 5 minutes. Start with 5 minutes. Okay, I could do a 5-minute run for a week. Next week, let me aim for 10 minutes, and just progressively and slowly build yourself up. It's difficult when you try to go from 0 to 100 without having experience, because now you're setting an expectation for yourself that's unrealistic, and the potential for failure is high. So start off slow, because you're not competing, you're not testing yet. Build yourself up slowly.
I think for me, one of the biggest things, people are always like, man, you look so physically fit. And I'm like, yeah, but it takes time. You have to, I always think preparation is not just writing it down, but it's seeing it, it's feeling it, it's tasting it. You have to see what your end goal is, right? And then you have to progress a little bit at a time. So if your end goal is to join the military or join the Air Force for that matter, and you don't have the lung capacity or the cardio capacity, I remember there was a point for me, like, I would get out and run and I'd be like, dang, I didn't even make it 5 laps today. But you got to start somewhere, and I think that's the biggest thing that people get hung up on. They get so overly hung up on what that end goal should look like, and they forget that there's preparation for it.
And with that said, you said I couldn't barely do 5 laps, but you did what you could.
That's it.
Whereas other people are sitting down saying, I should try. Instead of thinking about it, you just have to do it sometimes. You gotta initiate.
You do.
Everybody says, I'll start on Monday. What's the matter with today? Just get up, go do it. Something is better than nothing, and slow progress is better than no progress. I tell my fighters that all the time. When you're fighting and you're tired, your opponent is just as tired as you are. Go further than them. Somebody's will be broken, and as long as you have a stronger will, you can progress fractions. It's just fractions, small steps. Sometimes it takes us to go 2-3 steps forward, 2 steps back. 2-3 steps forward, 2 steps back, and it's just a push and pull process.
Absolutely. So coming out here with you, Jay, I actually had a really good opportunity to go through some routines that you take your boxers and your fighters through. And the whole idea of this is for people to understand that, yes, as airmen we are, not even as airmen, but as military members, period, we're expected to uphold a certain level of physical fitness. But to help break up the monotony of just straight running, push-ups and sit-ups, we want everybody to know and understand that it's about the feeling that you have, that inspiration, and getting out there and finding something that's going to be beneficial, not only for your health, right, but for your mental frame of mind too, because you want to enjoy it. And so with that, like I said, I had the opportunity to go through some boxing routines, and I'm gonna tell you, man, they kicked me. It put me down, but I enjoyed it though. I had a
good.
good time. And as we kind of talked about earlier, you know, it's about sharing that energy, right?
Yes.
Sharing that space with somebody that you have that connection with. And so, would you just kind of mind shedding some light on what it is that you took us through?
Yes, it would be my pleasure. So, starting off any workout, you should always warm up. Whether it be a run, some jump rope, elliptical, stairmaster, whatever the case may be, go ahead and get in there, get your blood flowing, get your heart rate up, and before we get started, start with the jump rope. The jump rope is going to get you to start getting more balanced and jumping on your toes. It's important in boxing for you to maintain balance and be able to move. Move in a way where you're not flat-footed, you're not heavy. You could just be as light and move to the best of your ability. So this drill here is a simulation of what it would be to pretty much run around a ring, and after you throw any amount of punches, you should never just stand there because I'm gonna look to retaliate. So after you throw your 4-punch combination, like I was telling you, you should be able to switch directions and continuously be elusive. This workout here is also going to help you to build up that cardio and that strength to continuously move as you're in the ring. So that's working you out aerobically as long as getting a good shoulder workout. This is after the warm-up. Right now we're basically going over my philosophy in boxing. The boxing starts in the mind first, because you got to be mentally capable of adjusting to any circumstance and have a clear vision of what it is that you're trying to get accomplished. After that, it should be your legs. I think the legs are the most important part after that, because you need balance and you got to be able to move to position yourself to strike and not be struck. And then your hands. As much as people think boxing is all throwing punches, your hands are the last line of defense and offense, because without the other two pieces, you won't make it to the other ones. So here we start off with some line work. It's a little trick I learned. You just put a line. It could be basketball court lines, it could be tile lines or tape, whatever the case may be. Put one foot, your lead foot on one side of the line, and then the other one on the other side. From there, you're learning basic balance and movements. So you're going, if you're moving backwards, your hind leg goes back first. If it goes back 2 inches, your front foot should catch up 2 inches. And same thing going forward in the opposite direction. If the lead foot comes forward 4 inches, your hind foot should come up 4 inches. And then from there, you're just learning balance and coordination. If your feet are ever on the line at the same time, I call it walking a tightrope. We're not here to try to walk a tightrope. We're here to try to keep balance as much as possible so that we can effectively throw punches and move with the most amount of stability. Funny analogy for here is that we're practicing how to throw the jab, and it just so happens that the way we shoot our M4s and our M16s, when you narrow out your silhouette, you keep your cheek in the buttstock, which is right into your shoulder, so that you can avoid being punched in the head, because once that hand is gone, your shoulder is the next line of defense. You throw it out, the right hand stays close to the temple and the body to protect your body and the head. And you got to narrow out your body. It extends you that much further and adds that much speed and power. Moving with the jab. Moving with the jab is going to be important, that whenever you move forward with the jab or to the left, if you're an orthodox fighter, which it means you're a right-handed, so your right hand's in the back. If you move forward, the front foot goes out at the same time as the hand, and as the hand returns, your rear foot catches up. And if you're going backwards, you fire off the jab, which is your front hand, with the back foot, and then catch up with the front foot afterwards. A common problem with a lot of people is that they try to punch hard. Instead of trying to punch hard, just try to punch quick and accurate. Touch the target and bring it right back to your head. The cross, that is your rear hand. I describe the cross in the most simplest ways by comparing it to swinging a baseball bat and trying to hit a home run. You have to put your entire body and hips all the way through. But instead of swinging past your face, the punch goes straight forward. Keep your knees bent so you're able to keep balance and bounce out if necessary to evade an attack. All the power or speed is coming from your hips. You can move your hands as fast as you can, but if you don't have those fast twitch muscles in your hips and your legs, it doesn't really matter. So loosen up, and just like that, we're ready to go. Jab, and then your hip should be loaded on the back, preparing the next hand. Right hand, when you throw the right hand, the weight transfers over from the back hip to the front hip, and then whenever you're switching hands, you just keep switching the weight on your hips and your legs. Now this part goes into what we were talking about earlier about having fun. It's cool to punch the air all you want. You can punch the air all you want, but we want to hit something, especially if we're doing boxing. So let's get on some mitt work, and then you can feel what it feels like to actually throw the punch correctly compared to not. And you also start getting that aerobic workout again, because when you're punching the air, it's not so much resistance, but when you gotta hit something, now you gotta really start working. And now we get to move around, learn some evasive maneuvers. Every time you throw a punch, you should not be standing there. You should be moving and getting out of the way of my punch. So here we're gonna work on a different form of conditioning and aerobics. Here we're doing 30-second bursts, as consistent and fast as possible, hitting the bag. You take 30 seconds on, and then when you're off, your partner steps in and continues the same drill. And we'll do this for 3, 4, 5, 6 rounds. I'm not so worried about form, more so worried about you making sure you stay busy. Consistent busyness. Just stay go, 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 go. It's okay to slow down. It's never okay to stop.
Do a little uppercut.
Look at the motivation. You was having fun.
I was getting tired though.
Yeah, but that's part of it, you know, maybe because you're tired, but at least you're doing something different instead of just running. You know what I mean? So you get the opportunity to still get that aerobic workout and push through it. So here we're doing our pyramids of 100 punches. So we start off at 1 punch, 2 punches, 3 punches. We work our way up to 10, and then work our way back down. And it's pretty much getting your shoulders and your body conditioned to continuously throw those same punches over and over. And as tired as you are, like I said, it's okay to slow down. It's okay to punch softer, but just keep pushing through it.
So why would you say it's important for people to find an outlet?
For me, I would say boxing for me was a big thing. As a kid growing up, it was a good relief, you know what I mean? I had a lot of different things I was dealing with in life in general, and it provided an outlet. It provided me with a different environment for me to get along with, talk to different people that had nothing to do with my problems. It's a sanctuary. Find something that you're gonna feel pleasure only doing, you know what I mean? And sometimes we don't like doing it, but when we get there, all of life's problems, issues, stresses, they get left at the door because you're doing something that you truly enjoy.
Right.
And that's your moment, that's your sanctuary, that's your place of escape.
Yeah. So could you recommend maybe a couple tips, or maybe just some basics for people who want to join but who are, you know, physically challenged? Right. Or
if you want to start, like I said, start with 5 push-ups, 5 sit-ups a day.
Yeah.
If that's the maximum that you can do that. Do 3 sets of it. Do 5 push-ups, take a minute break. Do another 5 push-ups, take a minute break. So on and so forth.
Yeah.
And then tomorrow, after that, go for a run.
Yeah.
5 to 10 minutes. And then next week, hopefully you'll be building up your strength. Try to do 6. Try to do 7. Push yourself as far as you can. And as long as you're consistent, consistency is key. A lot of people, they'll do like for a little bit and then they'll take a long break and then they wonder why they haven't progressed.
Yeah.
You have to continuously. It's a continuous work, continuous dedication, and that's the same in life. You know what I mean? If you dedicate yourself to your career and you only do 110% for a week and then you take some time off, you're not gonna progress in that job either. You gotta be proficient and continue to practice and sharpen those tools. And it's not just physicality; it's the mentality. You gotta exercise your mind, your spirit, your physicality, and do it all. And find time to split those up so that they're separate if you can't have them all together.
Right. I know one thing for me too, like starting out, you know, like I said before, you're not gonna have that brute strength right away.
Right.
You know, so I remember like not even as a kid, but as a young adult, you know, whether I was training for a basketball game or whatever, in between watching TV and commercial breaks, boom, boom, boom. You know, that's like a good 2-minute workout right there to try to knock out some push-ups or some sit-ups. But I think as I've gotten older and trying to find that outlet, time has become like, man, so valuable, so important.
Right.
You know, so you try to maximize your time throughout the day, but you know, if you have a busy work schedule, if you have a busy work life, if you've got kids, or no matter, even if you're not trying to join the Air Force, but you're just scrolling through this video and you finding fitness and motivation and inspiration key, just know that you also have to maximize the time that's given to you throughout the day. We all get the same amount of time in a day. Right. So it is what you do during that time that is also going to make the difference. So if your goal is to be physically fit, then, and you know you got a busy life, you got to fit it in. You got to fit it in. So has the Air Force more or less inspired your love for boxing?
I would say yes. So growing up, I've always loved combat sports. I've never been into team sports really. I played basketball a little bit when I was a kid, but when I found combat sports, I fell in love. I always wanted to do martial arts. When I got into the military, about 14, 15 years ago, I met my first coach at Dallas Air Force Base, Coach Reeves. I'll never forget him. He taught me the fundamentals and basics of boxing. And
right.
That happened in the Air Force, and it was free. You know what I mean? So it's an opportunity that I would have probably never ran into early on in my when I was younger. You know what I mean? And yeah, he just lit a flame under me, and I had aspirations to join the Air Force team. He was the Air Force boxing coach. The Olympics. I wanted to do as much as I can and absorb as much information as I could from as many different people that were involved in the industry.
Right.
And I've been
soaking it up ever since?
Ever since, yeah.
Okay. So when you are boxing, right, because you teach people now, you inspire people now, what are your methods of keeping people motivated during that time frame that you are coaching them or you're training them?
Right. So I ran into this issue recently by teaching down here in Montgomery. Anything that we practice kind of gets mundane sometimes because it's repetitions, and we're just kind of doing the same things over and over. And I think we have to get creative, so that whatever it is that we choose, whether it's a passion or just a goal that we're trying to reach, you got to make it fun. You got to make it enjoyable. Get creative. You know what I mean? Like the other day, I had 2 guys, and I had them just playing tag, just running around in the ring, trying to touch each other on the shoulder, no punches, just learning how to be mobile and elusive.
Yeah.
And for the first time in like a month since I've been training here, they were smiling and laughing at each other and enjoying it. You know what I mean? So you just got to mix it up and then have fun. Play music. Music that I like is not necessarily going to be the music you like. So sometimes I reach out to my fighters and I'm like, what kind of music do you want? I'll add it to the playlist. So and then I put it on shuffle and everybody gets an opportunity to work to something that they enjoy doing. Right. You know what I mean? Having a partner with you, somebody who can hold you accountable and make it more enjoyable, because if I'm with you and I know you because you're my good friend, I'm going to enjoy it a little bit more. And you may not be, but I'm a competitive person. And
you know I'm a competitive person, don't you?
Exactly. So we're going to go for it.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Absolutely.
If I throw 10 punches in 30 seconds, you're going to try to throw 40.
Yeah.
And I'll be like, oh, she did 40? Okay, I'm going to go for 50.
Yeah.
And then we inadvertently continuously push each other past our limits in order for us to self-improve.
Leveling up?
Right.
Leveling
up.
Yeah.
I'm trying to improve myself, but in the fact that you're competing with me,
you improving me
you
too.
are pushing me further, right? So we're giving each other's energy, in order to get better at what we're doing.
Right. I think that is so important too, because a lot of times, you go into the gym and I don't know about you, but when I get into a zone when I'm working out, right? And sometimes when I'm in that zone, I can look at people's faces in the gym, not necessarily to stare at them, but just to check that level of energy.
Right.
Because sometimes, and I kid you not, I've been in some places and I can go over and high five a stranger and just be like, yo, you're giving me energy right now.
Right.
That enthusiasm that you're bringing to the weights, to the run, just the aggression to get it out, man, it empowers me. And I don't even know this person.
It's an inspiration just because he's working hard and you're like, I'm here. I should be able to work as hard as him.
Right.
And man, he looks enthused to be doing it.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, we transfer energy all the time. You know what I mean? If you're feeling down and I'm here and I'm feeling positive, my hope is that my positive energy will soak up that negativity off of you. It's the same idea.
Mm-hmm. I think that kind of goes hand in hand with life, though. Like, you have to have people by your side who's going to motivate you.
Right.
Regardless. Like-minded people.
Absolutely.
Like-minded people. Okay, so I asked you a little earlier, what Icon pretty much stood for, and you kind of elaborated on it a little bit. But what does that mean to you? Why did you start this brand?
I was a knucklehead growing up, and boxing gave me a place to discipline myself, find an outlet, and better myself in the ring and outside. It's a place where, for me, it's everything. The boxing gym is anything that you want, you can get there. If you're trying to get better mentally, you're going to learn mental toughness in there. You have to, because if you're mentally weak, you're just not going to be able to push yourself past certain limits.
Right.
Or you're not going to be able to get through the aches and the pains. If your boxing is, when I'm in there, it's my meditation. It's my church.
Your sanctuary.
I'm safe there.
Yeah.
There's nothing, like, I could have the greatest weight of the world on my shoulders. It's left at the door, and I'm in my peace.
Yeah.
As violent as the sport seems, it's peace. Because it's a place where you can express yourself physically. If you're feeling happy and joyful, you will fight happy and joyful. If you're feeling angry and aggressive, you're going to be able to fight angry and aggressive.
Right.
You're going to punch different. You're going to move different. You're going to react to circumstances different. And that translates into life. It's the same thing. Take whatever energy you have and use it to your advantage so that you can flip it. If you have a negative energy, take that negative energy and put it out in a positive place.
Yeah. Okay. So, what advice for a future airman, or if not even a future airman, then maybe somebody who is already serving, right? Because this video not only serves as a source of potential for somebody to refer to for joining, but even for somebody that's already in, right? What advice would you give them if they were just getting started, right? But they had trouble and they're listening to the outside voices or listening to people who are doubting them, or, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, because it's going to be hard. It's going to be hard in the beginning.
It is. And we kind of touched on that earlier, where I was like, you're not always going to have a support system that you need. That support system will come back to you. I always tell people, stay positive, work hard, and regardless of what happens, your energy and your work will prove itself.
Right.
You don't need to outshine anybody. You don't need to prove anything to anyone but yourself.
Yeah.
And as long as you stay dedicated to yourself and your goals, and you continue to do things in a positive light and work, like I said, small pieces, a little bit at a time.
A little bit.
Don't rush anything.
How you say it in Spanish?
De a poquitos. It's like something I've told my mother since I was a kid. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We'll get there.
Yep.
It's rough right now, but we get there little by little.
Little by little.
Little by little. It's not gonna happen all at once.
Right.
And then those support groups, positive energy doesn't have it. It's not possible to have complete positive energy and negative people be around you. It attracts people. People want to feed off of it. It's like mosquitoes to the light or bugs to the light. They always flock to it.
Yeah.
It's it's magnetizing. They'll always come to you.
Okay, so you've given ways and tips for inspirational fitness and to future airmen. So if somebody wants to get a more in-depth personal session, how would they go about contacting you? I know you said earlier you dropped some hints on how they could catch up with you, but...
Absolutely. So I'm actually on Instagram. I can be reached at icon_boxing. That's 1KON_boxing. And just hit me on the DM, and then we can talk. We can do video sessions online if you're in the local area or near enough where we can visit each other. We can arrange private sessions, and we can make outlines for whatever is required for your goal and your purpose.
Perfect. Do you have anything else you want to wrap up with?
I appreciate you guys coming out here to see me. This is a grand opportunity, and I'm proud of y'all.
I'm proud of you.
Great work. Thank you.
Absolutely. Always with love, homie.
Yes.
All right.